You will have received our financial partnership booklet. If you haven't, please do give the office a call or shoot them an email. Speaking of financial partnership, it was great last week to enjoy the piazza, which is the result of our financial commitment made this time last year. In terms of financial partnership, on Sunday the 22nd of November, we're going to be filling out the commitment cards. So please, could I ask you just to spend some time reflecting on this document, praying, speaking with whoever you need to speak to think through the financial commitment you're in a position to make for 2021. On the centre page of this booklet, you will see a copy of the commitment card. I spoke with you last week about the new tick box at the top and the two new funds below, both for upgrading the kids' playground and for sealing the car park. Last week, Elizabeth spoke about the kids and youth priority. So I want to just take a moment to explain the Kids and Youth Fund, which is the second tick box under the special pledges below. Remembering that the middle section is our normal regular financial commitment, with the bottom pledges being the special pledges for 2021. Let me tell you about the Kids and Youth Fund. The number of children and youth at our church has grown at an astonishing rate over the last 3 years, and we're just scratching the surface of what we could do in making Christ known to the kids and youth of Penrith. As the number and opportunities increase, more leaders are needed to be identified, supported, discipled and trained. And we need a person to head this ministry up going forward. The plan for this fund is to help our church move from 2 full-time paid ministers to 3. Historically, St Stephen's and other churches of our size have struggled to move to 3 full-time staff. And so what we're doing with this fund is aiming to build a financial cushion to allow us to make this transition more easily and responsibly. So your gift to this fund will hasten the time, will speed the time when we can appoint a third member of the staff team to this priority. If you have any questions, please do feel free to ask. I would really appreciate you taking time to think through this booklet, as Jen and I planned to do, to think through your financial commitment for the year 2021. Finally, over the last 2 weeks, if you've looked at the front page of the news sheet, you will have met our new student ministers coming in the new year. I'm really excited at the prospect of Pip and Soph joining us as student ministers. Both Pip and Soph are finishing up their MTS training at Carlingford this year before going off to Moore Theological College next year. And I'm also really excited about welcoming Adam as a student minister. Adam is married to Avril. He's going into his 3rd year at Moore College. It's really exciting to welcome them to the leadership team of our church. I'll now hand over to Mark to speak about the priority of services.
I want to take this opportunity to update you on our Sunday services priority. At 1:47 p.m. on Wednesday, the 18th of March, following a staff meeting where we were discussing Open Sunday and the distant possibility of changes due to COVID, we received the following email from our Archbishop. It said this: "In light of the Prime Minister's announcement this morning, banning enclosed gatherings in excess of 100 people, I have decided that the Anglican Church in Sydney should suspend all public church gatherings until further notice." Now, it's no understatement to say that this announcement made real for us the impact of COVID, and it also marked an unexpected turning point in our life as a church and a significant change from what we'd planned for this year in services. But today, I want to share with you some of the incredible things that God has done and has taught us since that announcement. Many of the things that we've learned have a lasting impact on our life together as a church. Now, in the week of the announcement, we knew that we had at least 2 urgent challenges to overcome. The first was to work out, how do we do services when we can't gather? And the second was to work out how to communicate and care for each other when we can't gather. Now, in the 3 days that followed, through God's sovereignty and his placement of the right people in the right roles at the right time, both of these challenges of services and communication, both were overcome. A church family care system was set up that enabled every church member to be contacted, informed about what was happening. And a service was recorded, produced, and made available to every member of our church, either online on YouTube or in physical form on DVD. Now, these short-term solutions have proved to have lasting value. The church family care system was driven by many willing growth group members who took on the responsibility not just to contact as a one-off, but to continue to care for others in their congregation. Some of the people who were contacted, they hadn't even met before. And a number of those who started making calls back in March are still making those same calls regularly. So that across our congregations, there are now connections and deep friendships between people that were not there pre-COVID. And a similar lasting value has been seen in our online services. We've had Bible readers and prayer leaders and musicians from across our congregations contributing to our online services. Each week, we've created one service for all our gatherings, which, while initially uncomfortable, has proved incredibly beneficial. By sharing in the same service, we've been able to appreciate in a renewed way the diversity of our wider church family. We've been ministered to by people from other congregations. We've experienced new songs and new hymns alongside those that are familiar to us. Our online services also have given us a connection with a wider online audience and with church members who'd been finding it difficult to come to physical gatherings. Both of these groups of people have been functionally able to attend our service, so that's been great. And when we were able to resume on-site services in June, there were still more challenges though. Restrictions in numbers in each on-site space led to 4 different service times and a total of 6 gatherings spread across our site. We also needed to adhere to the new COVID safe plan, which meant distancing and rigorous cleaning and contact details needing to be taken on entry. And the wardens and other volunteers have done some amazing work to implement plans which are now well established. Many people were willing and committed to serve in any way they could to ensure that we could gather, as we've now been doing since the 21st of June. And it's been a joy to once more join together in confession, in assurance, in creeds, in morning tea, in supper, and in communion since the 9th of August. Now, in the Archbishop's announcement email all those months ago, he closed with this encouragement, which is good for us to hear. God's love for all people has not diminished, nor his sovereignty over his world. In all the joys and challenges of our services this year, we found this to be true. And so we trust in God's love and his sovereignty as we look to whatever lies ahead in 2021.